What's good, y'all? It's your boy Cypher here. This is my very first YouTube video ever. And this video is going to be 20 life lessons from a 20-year-old. I'm 20 years old. I just turned 20 about 3 weeks ago. And it was just something deep in my heart telling me that I should do some type of advice thing as my first video. So here we are today. Now, my first life lesson that I got, people under 20, first life lesson that I got is that you need to establish morals and values to live by. Now, this is very important because your morals and your values will determine the things that you do within your life and also the types of people you associate yourself with. It is what I would probably say is the biggest thing that changes your outlook and your prospects of your life as you're young, and when you're older it is something that you will really look to instill into your children and the people around you as you build your community and whatnot. My second life lesson I have is to have a plan for your life, to give you some type of framework, but also to understand that whatever plan you got for yourself, it is inevitable that it's going to change. Like, whatever you think that you're going to do, you may do it in some way or form that you think you're going to do it, but 9 times out of 10, it is never going to be exactly how you imagine that. And that is okay. That is just how life goes. The important thing is that you carry on and you maintain what it is that you want to do, and you just follow your path. It's like the saying they say, you got to shoot for the stars and you could land on the moon. It's kind of like that in a sense. Number three is that discipline is the root of all good qualities. Now, whatever it is that you want to do in life, none of it will ever happen unless you can maintain discipline. It's just that simple. Now, number four is kind of paradoxical with number three. It is that discipline in itself doesn't exist, but discipline, as you may know it, is just the supreme force of focus and self-control. So, like, discipline in itself is not really a tangible thing. There's no way to really measure it. So, if you listen to a lot of people who have status or are successful and those types of things, one thing that you'll always find that they say, for let's say people who go to the gym a lot, they'll say that they might say it's discipline, but what it really is that they just focus all day on what it is that they say that it is that they're gonna do, and they end up getting it done because it's the only thing in their mind. It's like you're setting your intention within the universe so that it can help you to focus on carrying it out. It's manifestation in its purest sense. Now, number five is don't chase happiness. You have to chase purpose. Now, as most people probably know, happiness isn't really something that lasts. It's not something that persists throughout the entirety of your life. Your life will always flow like a pendulum, like the pendulum swing. There's going to be good times and there's going to be bad times. You can find happiness within all of those, the same way you can learn lessons through good times and bad times. But if you chase your purpose, you will always have the odds be more in your favor of swinging into good times, because you're not directionless within life. You're not just flowing and doing nothing and just going as the wind blows. That's like a pretty big gateway to being depressed, because you just feel like you're not doing anything. Now, number six that I have is that action trumps everything. So it is important for you to get out and do. Now, I think this is probably the most important life lesson, especially for young people such as myself, because this is something that I struggle with as well, that I had to overcome. You can plan everything out that you want. You can get all the details and whatnot together, but unless you actually commit to actually doing things, then none of what you're planning for actually matters. The only thing that matters is your actions at the end of the day. So, like, if it came to me thinking about videos and things like that I might want to do, I could get all of it together, all the props or whatnot that I might want to use. But if I never actually create the video, then all that I did was for nothing. And truthfully, it was actually like a waste of time, because you put all your energy into researching this one thing that you claim you may want to do, and if you don't actually do it, you're literally just wasting the only thing that matters, which is time, because that's the only thing in life that you will never get back. Now, number seven that I have is character over slash before value. So this is kind of like a message to the red pill way of thinking, where people may consider other people to be high value, which is often a materialistic way of looking at things. The only thing that matters initially is high character. You know, people can be as high value as you want. They have the most money, but if they have no type of character, then you can never really interact with them in an honest manner, because you never know what it really is that they're looking to get out of things. You know, it's pretty much that simple. Number 8 is that you have to protect your value and your energy. Now, this one is also very important in the days of social media. You know, it's a lot of things that people try to project that they say that you should care about, even though it might not apply to you. There's also a lot of things that people may do in order to try to please other people. The only thing that matters is that you help yourself first, especially if you're somebody who do wants to help other people. If you never help yourself first and you lower your state of consciousness and you lower your vibration, then you can never truly help people to the way that you may want to, because you need help yourself if you're not together. So it is always important that you protect your energy and your value first and foremost over anything. That's all that matters. Now, number 9 that I got is health and relationships are the most important things that you have. Now, this is a direct counter to materialistic type of thinking, where people may chase like value in terms of clothes and cars and jewelry, stuff like this. This shit isn't even real. This is some bullshit. Very cheap. You know, it doesn't really mean anything. It just looks nice, so I wear it. But the only thing that really matters is your health and your relationships with people. Your health, so that you can maintain a positive quality of life as you're younger and as you grow into be old. You don't want to be 70 years old, can barely walk, you can't bend over, and none of that types of stuff. All of that stuff is preventable the more that you care about your health when you're younger. Now, in terms of relationships are the centerpiece of everything that you do, in terms of interacting with other people. Now, it is undeniable that all of us are connected and that you have to interact with other people, if not on a daily basis, and at the very least on a weekly basis. But for the most part, unless you're just like a hermit living in the woods by yourself, you're going to interact with people on a daily basis. So the way that you maintain your relationships with them is a very key outlook to how the rest of your life looks as well. So it is imperative that you maintain good health for longevity's sakes, and so that you can feel good in the present moment, and also relationships, because that'll pretty much determine the community you surround yourself with as you grow older, and also when you begin to have children and things like that. The people you're around, the relationships that you have, will directly affect your offspring as well. So why not build it now, so that it's good for everybody around you later? It's just what makes sense. Now, number 10 that I got is to never outsource your well-being to other entities. Now, this one all of these are very important. This one is probably top 3 most important. The reason this is top 3 most important is because whenever you give other entities the agency to determine how you feel and determine like if you could eat and things like that, you're really in probably the worst situation you could be in. You're essentially acting as a slave to society if you're gonna let them affect the way that you carry yourself. This is a big way to not have to be reliant on things like the government and a lot of other corrupt institutions that we have within society, because the more you rely on things like the government to take care of you and stuff like that, not only are you neglecting to learn actual self-sufficiency skills that you need in case something very bad happens and you all on your own, but you also take away the chance and make it less likely that your children will also learn these things. So it's doubly important for that reason, so that you can be self-sufficient yourself and take care of yourself and your family, and you also give the people around you and your direct offspring the chance to do the same for themselves. Now, number 11 that I got is to create sustainable routines for yourself. Now, this one I was thinking more so in like the workout sense, but it goes with, you can apply it anywhere. The more you get motivated, like you listen to like a motivational speech at night, you get motivated and you want to do something, like at that moment you do something real crazy. It's 9 times out of 10 not something that's very sustainable that you can do on a consistent basis. The best thing to do, especially in terms of working out, is to create something that you can do consistently and that you can constantly build up, because that's the way that you can set yourself up on the gateway to success, is to have things that you can constantly do, you can constantly grow at. And if you could get 1% better at those things every time that you do them, then over the course of the year, let's say you only do a half of the year, you're 180% times better than you were before. Now, number 12 that I got is that you must be flexible in order to ensure your survival. Now, this the message behind this is essentially to not get stuck in your ways and to only look at things from like one point of view. You know, every point of view has a little something to offer, whether it be some truth behind it that you can learn from, or some not truth behind it that you can also learn from, in terms of learning to not do things or look at things in that certain type of way. Now, number 13 that I got is the key to consistency and success is to enjoy the process. Now, this goes hand in hand with creating sustainable routines for yourself. If you never enjoy the process of what it is that you're doing, then you're most likely going to quit and not finish it, or you're just going to end up in a depressive state, because if you don't really enjoy what it is that you're doing and you have to do it so much, you do it consistently, then you're never really going to get to where it is that you're actually trying to be. Now, number 14 that I got is to know that people tend to be self-serving. So being a problem solver is a cheat code in order to get good relationships, and it's also a cheat code to success as well. Now, the fact that people are mostly self-serving, you know, it's a psychological thing that is rooted within humans. So if you can appeal to that, not manipulate it, because you don't really want to manipulate, even though it's like a neutral type of term, but if you can understand that about people and you can help them solve their problems, then you make it easier for you to interact with them. And it can be like a you scratch my back, I scratch your back type of thing. You can all get something out of helping other people. Now, number 15 that I got is that you have to be your own biggest fan so that nobody else can control you. Now, this one is the most important for people who do like artistic types of things, because if you do something like, let's say you create pictures or you make music or whatever, and you only do it to get the approval of other people, there is always going to be a vocal minority of people who will like really support you, and there's also going to be a vocal minority of people who really don't support you for no reason. It doesn't have to be anything tangible or not, that's just what people do. And because of the way that our psychology works, you know, people tend to look at negative things or take negative things more serious than the positive things. So if you're not your own biggest fan, you're really leaving yourself, you're leaving yourself more susceptible for other people to take you off your pedestal, which is not where you really want to be when you do artistic types of things. Now, number 16 that I got is when a student is ready, the master will appear. So this one is more of a philosophical type of lesson, but it is something that I have found apply for myself. So in terms of getting, when you're really ready, your master will appear. To really get ready, you have to really throw yourself into whatever craft it is that you're trying to learn. And once you really go somewhere with that and do something with it, someone who is actually a master of that thing will take notice, and they will be willing to mentor you and help you out with that thing, and then you will have found your master. Now, number 17 that I got is that attention is an energetic currency. Now, everything within our world in some shape or form can be looked at as a currency. You got actual money, which is a currency we exchange in order to get resources and goods and stuff like that. You have attention, which is an energetic currency. That's things that, you know, guys might get of girls. It's things that people give to media. All of that stuff is a currency. Now, in terms of attention being an energetic currency, how much attention you give to something is a direct reflection of how well you protect your energy. So if you don't give attention to things that you find negative and you know will put you in a depressive state, you're doing a good job of protecting your energy. If you feel like you have to be a reactionary person to every single thing that comes out, even if you know you don't really care about it, then you're really doing a bad job of protecting your energy. You're giving away your currency for free. You don't want to do that. Number 18 is that everything is connected, even if not presently obvious. Now, this is another philosophical type of thing, but it is something that is undeniably true. You know, we were all created by the Most High, and because of that, everything is connected on some shape or form. So it is best to operate to give respect to all creatures and things that exist within this realm that we call Earth, because even like things like plants and animals, you know, even though we're not related to them technically through our bloodline, you know, they all take care of one another because everything in life revolves around cycles. You got the cycle of nature, you got plants getting food for themselves through the sun and water. You got animals that eat those plants. You got some people who eat those animals and get that energy. It's transmutation, all of that stuff just keeps on going. So we all have to protect everything within the earth because we all need each other. Everything needs each other on earth. Now, number 19 that I got is that there is learning done within each situation, whether that is good or bad. So you can look at something like being something people might think to be one of the worst things to be is homeless, right? So even being homeless, that's a situation where most people would say is bad. You got some people who are homeless by choice, where that would be good. Most people are used to the comforts that we have in a first world country, so most people would say being homeless is bad. Now, if you are homeless, you can look at it as bad and you could become suicidal or something really bad like that, or you can look at it as an opportunity to learn little different things and look for a sustainable way to get yourself back up. And that is also something that will give you a deeper appreciation for the daily comforts that we have that a lot of other people don't have. And it'll also give you reason to not want to go back to that state, and it'll give you more purpose in order to provide for your family and do things like that. Now, last but not least, number 20 is that we create our own realities. Now, this one is a little controversial, apparently, from my little discussions that I have with other people from this point of view, but I think it holds true in the sense that everything that everyone looks at, everyone has a different perspective of it. Now, everyone's different perspective is going to lead them to navigate through life in a different type of way. So because of that, everyone is living in a different reality in a small sense or a big sense. So because of that, it's kind of like we live in a not a situation. It's kind of like we live in a matrix. You know, like we live in a simulation. Everything that you do, everything that you want to do, it is possible to do. There's no reason that you can't do it. The only thing that could stop you from doing something is you. So the only thing that people really need to understand about us creating our own realities is to know that whatever it is you want to do, you can do that. You are a God having a human experience. So with that being said, do with that what you will, whether you agree with it or disagree with it. But that is my 20 life lessons from a 20-year-old. So I appreciate y'all for watching, and I'll see y'all next time.